Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Friday, June 28th. It is 6:19 right now. Market's going to open in about 11 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick, and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. Just got a few things here to update, and we should be good to go. All right, that's good. All right, solid. So let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. All right, link sent out. Cool. So as people join in, I'm gonna go ahead and start marking up liquidity over here on the daily chart. Going down to the 8 hour. Down to the 4 hour. Down to the 2 hour. Down to the 1 hour. Going down to the 30 minute. Going down to the 15. Down to the 10. And looks like we're good to go. So back to the 1 minute over here. Got the higher high marked up right there. And it looks like we're good. So the closest level of liquidity above is at 39,603. And the closest level below is at 39,499. So those are the two closest levels of liquidity to current price. And it looks like we're ready to go. So, all right, guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Friday, June 28th. Happy Friday, everyone. 6:24 right now. Market's going to open in about 6 minutes. I've just marked up liquidity over here. Closest level above is at 39,603, and the closest level below is at 39,499. Looking at current price right here, we're currently in a bearish bias because price is below the pivots. Trend meter is red. The pivots are angling down. We have a bearish momentum here. The only thing here is the divergence is still bullish, or it's swinging to bullish. So we might get a swing back up here. However, we'll probably be looking for some sells here on open. So we got that set aside. There was some high impact news at 5:30 this morning. So this morning we had Fed Barkin speaking at 3 a.m. very early this morning. Very unusual to see something like that so early in the morning, but go figure. We got Chicago PMI at 6:45. We got Michigan consumer sentiment at 7, and that's pretty much all the news for today. So 5:30, 6:45, and 7. I'll mark that up over here so that you guys can see. And we will go from there. Morning, Maria. All right, so we had news over here at 5:30. There's a big green candle. And we have news over here at 6:45, 7. So I'm going to try to get an entry here pretty early, like around opening time. If I don't get an entry today, that's completely fine. I'm not going to force anything. It's a bit of a tricky day because of the news. So we'll see. So let's see. We have the Asia low right here. It's lined up with liquidity. So if price comes down lower, this is going to be the target price point. The level and the liquidity and the session down there. So we have the Asia low right here. It's lined up with the liquidity. That's going to be the first target price point if price decides to continue climbing lower. Next price point is going to be the next level down here at the 450 mark. Pushing above over here, we have the Asia high. So if price decides to climb back up, so say, for example, price comes back up from where it's currently at, right? If price comes back up from here, target price point is going to be first news price, and the next target is going to be the Asia high right here. So there's two different targets here if price decides to reverse to the upside. So just a heads up, guys. First target's going to be right here, of course, above. And the first target below looks like it's already going to get hit right here pre-market at the sessions. Yeah, this is probably going to get hit right now. So this is the first target right now if price decides to come down. This is liquidity. It's also the level, and it's also the Asia low. So the first target right there just got hit, guys. That liquidity is pretty much done with. So the first target right here got hit, the Asia low. And if price decides to keep climbing, next target is going to be down here at this 450 level. So I'm not going to take any pre-market trades here, but the pattern we typically look for played out on this candle right here. It's a nice wick to the upside, came right back down, came down to the target down below here at the sessions. And we'll see what happens here when market opens. So first level of liquidity right there got hit already pre-market, guys. It was lined up with the session below. And we'll go from here. So, all right, guys. Market is opening up in about less than a minute. And we'll take it from here. All right. So we got the market opening up in about a minute. All right, guys. So let's take a look at everything again. So we have a bearish bias right now. Reason for that's because price is below the pivots. Trend meter is red. Pivots are angling down. The only difference here is the divergence is swinging up. We currently have a sell momentum there, so we're probably going to look for some sells here. However, price can go in either direction. So the first target price point is going to be up here. The next target price point is going to be down here at this liquidity, and the one below that's going to be down here at the level of the 450 mark. So we got market opening up shortly. We got about 20 seconds till market open. We got 15 seconds till market open. And market is opening in 4, 3, 2, 1. Market is now open, guys. So we got opening price right here. Price came down, blasted right through the liquidity. Target price point is going to be right here. 450 level, if it continues to drop lower. I'll be looking for entry possibly on the next candle. I'm gonna look for it to swing up, maybe reject off the session, come back down lower. Target price point is going to be down here though. All right, we got about 20 seconds left on this candle here. Liquidity right there got hit. All right, price is too close to the session right here, guys. So price, I mean, ideally, if price was to swing back down, I would have been looking for an entry here, but because it's so close to the session right there, it's not really a good area for me to want to take a trade. So I'm gonna hold off on that, of course. Keep looking over here for any opportunities. So if this swings back down red, this is possibly going to be a decent entry for a sell. But again, I wouldn't really want to take it because it's right at the sessions right there. It's a huge red flag. Way too risky for me to want to take any sells here, like in this specific area. So we'll see if price swings up. If it swings up, that's fine. We'll possibly be looking for some buys here. My bias has not shifted yet though, so probably hold off on some buys for right now. We need the trend here to start to like really shift first. So we got a little bit of a messy chart today, guys. It's all good. Nothing we can't handle, of course. All right, so target price point is going to be right here. The first target got hit, the news price right there. The next target is going to be the sessions right here. So if it keeps climbing up, this is going to be the next target. There's no entry here, at least not yet. Looks like that target's going to get hit shortly. Target just got hit. So first target right there got hit. The next target is going to be up here at the New York high and the London high. So if price decides to keep climbing up higher, I'll be looking for possible opportunity for entry here. Might want to be a little careful with the movement. So the first level of liquidity right there just got hit. Price is climbing up. This is the next level right here for price to reach. So I'll be watching for possible opportunity here for entry. So I want it to come down a little bit. I want it to come down and then maybe swing back up. It's probably going to hit target before then, but if it swings back down right here. Okay, so I'm watching for it to swing back up from this point here. I want it to come down a little further. It's a little too close right now. So I want a bigger wick on the bottom end. I mean, this could have been the entry right there, but I didn't want to risk it. Fuck, look at that huge spike. Damn, liquidity just got hit and it blasted right through. So that was the entry right there, but I wasn't ready to take it yet because this is a crazy market right now, guys. I'm probably going to hold off for a little bit. I'm going to wait. This thing is, damn, this thing just went through the roof. So that was the entry right there that I was looking for. I was looking for that wick. I wanted the wick to come down a little further and shoot up, but unfortunately it just took off from there. So there's nothing for me to take at that point. The volatility right now is insane. This is a huge spike right here, guys. So I'm going to sit tight for a little bit. I don't even know what caused that spike. Let's check CNBC real quick. So it says S&P rises slightly as Fed's preferred inflation gauge shows slowing inflation. So they just reported on inflation that is slowing. That's probably what spiked it up. Yeah, you guys want to be a little bit careful here. There's probably a lot of manipulation happening. You can see how it's starting to flatten out now, but pretty much the liquidity over here got hit. I mean, the chart's all messed up now because the candles are so big, but liquidity right there got hit. I'm gonna take this liquidity off. Take basically all the liquidity levels here got hit. That level got hit. That level got cracked. One thing. That level got hit. And price is still climbing up. Technically, this could have been another entry right here, but I'm just not going to mess with it right now. It's way too far up right now. I want it to kind of stabilize. I actually want it to consolidate here a little bit because this thing is just, it's too crazy right now. So I want it to pull back, maybe consolidate a little bit, maybe even range for a little bit. The only problem is that we have news over here at 6:45, so this is going to be a bit of an issue as we get closer and closer to news. It's high impact news as well. See, the news at 6:45 is Chicago PMI. It's medium impact, still something to look out for. Okay, so what I would look for here is if price swings above this area, I would be inclined to take a buy there. If it swings back above that red, it's probably not going to, but if it does, that's all I'll be looking for. Not here. Price is now consolidating here a little bit. So no longer looking for that buy here yet. I need price to really like swing down, something like this. I need a big red candle and I need to correct back up. This right here looks like price is just going to sit here for a bit, consolidate. I'm letting it kind of move around a little bit. It's 6:36 right now, so we're getting closer and closer to news at 6:45. So as we get, as we inch closer to that news event, man, I'm just shocked that the candle moved this crazy. But now the whole chart's messed up. You guys can see these candles compared to the previous candles, they look like they haven't even moved at all. But these are actually decent candles. It's just these candles over here were extremely large. That's 100 point. This is in like 1 minute, it moved about 200 points. In about 2 minutes, it moved like 300 points. You guys can see how crazy that move is there. So these candles right here kind of just screwed up the market. Well, not screwed up the market, but it screwed up the chart because now everything's super spread out. These candles over here aren't really small. I mean, they're still moving. They look small, but these are like 30-point candles. So just here, let's check NQ real quick. It's like Nick's. NQ had the spike too, Nick. It's gonna be affected as well, I think. I mean, it's not as bad, but I mean, I think it's still affected. So I think be careful with anything, really. It's just it wasn't as dramatic on NQ. All right, so I'm gonna sit tight here for a little bit, wait for something here to play through. Okay, so if this swings back up green, I'm gonna take this here for a buy. Never mind, they didn't swing up green. Let me measure these candles real quick. So there's still volatility, it's just not super high. So again, I would need price to kind of come down sharply and then swing back up. There could have been another entry right here, but I'm not going to take those small little retracements. I'm looking for a big retracement and correction up higher. So what I'm probably going to look for here is I'm going to look for price to come down, reject off the pivot or the session down here, and then come back up. I need some volatility. I need some movement. I can't get into these positions if they're like snail movements like this. But I'm looking for a buy here still. So I'm looking for price to come down. This is why I was okay with this red candle. It was rejecting off the level right here. So I wanted to reject off some sort of structure. And I want it to be a sharp rejection. So like come down hard and then shoot right back up. Right here, price is consolidating super hard. We got news coming up in about 5 minutes, 6 minutes. Let's see. All right, so I'm watching this right here. If this here swings back up green, has about 30 seconds left on the candle, I'll take this here for a buy. Just watching it. It's probably not going to happen, but I'll watch it anyways, just in case. Because you just got to wait for that volatility spike. The spike's going to come up eventually. It's just, you got to be patient waiting for it to come up. and it can come up like at the last like 5 seconds of the candle. So it didn't happen right there. Almost. Yeah, see like right here, this would have been the entry. It would have came up. It almost came up, but then it didn't come up fully, which is all good. I mean, it is what it is. That would have been a full TP too, almost. All right, we'll keep watching for it, but that's basically the pattern I was looking for. I was looking for it to come down hard and then shoot back up for correction. So that would have been my entry right there, but it just didn't come up all the way. We got news coming up in about 5 minutes, guys, so I'm probably gonna hold off until news is done. Wait to see how price reacts to it. The news is the Chicago PMI. It's inflation news coming up over here at 6:45. Medium impact, it's forecasted to be positive, so we'll see what happens here when it actually is released in the next 5 minutes. All right, so I'm just gonna wait for my price action here. So it looks like this is a consolidation zone that we're looking for. It's probably going to consolidate between these two levels right here, between the 750 and the 700 level. Consolidation down here. The good thing is that the entries are hitting. So I've seen this one right here come up. This one played through perfect. It would have hit. Same with these over here. These didn't really pull back far enough, but it did push straight through. And same with this one right here. It pulled back a little bit and push straight through. So the entries that we're looking for are working. The price action is there. It's just a messy setup right here. But yeah, this is probably going to consolidate here for a little bit until news. And then if news is positive, it'll probably continue climbing up higher. There's no more sessions up here. So the sessions are pretty much done with. We're pretty much in open space. This is probably going to be considered the high of the day, the high of the week, maybe. Yeah, this is the high of the week. So here, let's go real quick. Let's check the 10-minute. Yeah, so we're at the high of the week. This is as high as it pushed for the week so far. So this is pretty much open space, which is a good sign because if it's open space, it's less likely to be manipulated up here. There's no levels up here for people to like trade at, right? We're kind of just in open space, or like I like to call open water. It's kind of like being in the ocean, right? When you're in the ocean, you kind of get caught in the tide. If you guys know how tides work, kind of pull you back and forth. That's kind of where the manipulation happens, where the tides are at, right? Once you get out into open water, this could really go either direction. It's super high up, so it can just keep climbing up, or it can just correct right back down, right into the manipulated area down here because there's so many levels. So right now we're currently in open water. If we come down here, we come back into the, I guess like the shallow, where there's like a lot of stuff going on. And if price climbs up, we're going to be back further into open water. So I like to use analogies that make more sense compared to like trading analogies, because if you use trading terms, sometimes it just doesn't make any sense, right? People just make up some random names for stuff. But I think the ocean analogy could kind of give you guys an understanding of like what I mean. All right, so we got price coming back down right here. This is fine. I do want the retracement. This is perfect because if price corrects back up, then solid. We have this whole space to trade in right here. Got news right here in about 2 minutes. Not really looking to mess with anything here. Price is coming back down, bounce off this session. So the first target for correction is going to be the session right here, the New York high, London high. If price drops lower, the next area for correction is going to be the Asia high down here. So it's coming down, still hasn't touched it yet. We got the news candle in about a minute. So this is the first level of rejection right here. I think this right here is going to be your initial balance, Nick. Higher high, lower low right here. 630 and 633. If it doesn't push any higher, 7 o'clock's like right here. So if it stays within this area, it's going to be your initial balance. Yeah, exactly. But 730 is like not too far out. So if it stays within this middle area, that's the high point, that's the low point right there. That stuff only works really well in a ranging consolidating market. So this whole week hasn't really been that's maybe yesterday was okay, but the other days it's kind of been uh it's been rallying. So just something to take a look at. So all right, guys, here is the news candle. There's not really much reaction to it. Let me mark this up real quick, take this off. Let's check the news real quick, see what it was. The news was positive, just like anticipated. So it's better than expected. All right, so I'll be looking for some possible buys here. We didn't really get much of a reaction to the news, but I'll be looking for some possible buys here as long as the volatility picks back up. The volatility here is a little flat now. So we will see what happens here if price decides to, continue climbing up from where it's currently at. Again, the target price point down here hasn't been touched yet, so I probably would prefer it to come down and touch it, maybe reject off it super hard, and then come right back up. So that's what I'd be looking for here. I'm going to be looking for the rejection off some sort of price structure, whether it be a pivot, whether it be a level, whether it be a session, it doesn't really matter to me. For the most part, the volatility here is pretty much dead. So I'd probably be a little careful with what I'm looking for at this point. So again, the first level or target price point for it to come down to, because it is correcting down, is going to be this session right here, this green line. What I preferably would like to see here is I'd like to see this spike down pretty hard and then come right back up. That's kind of what I would like to see here, right? I want to see something like that happen because that'll tell me that volatility is there, it's present, and it's ready to keep on pushing. Okay, so we have the touch right there. It's probably not going to come up and correct yet. We have about 10 seconds left on this candle. I'm going to watch it here. If this candle turns green, I'm going to get into this for a buy. It's not. So there's no entry right there. Again, right here, price is touching the session again. Not ready for entry here, though. The volatility here is not high enough. So what I'm going to look for here is I'm going to look for price to come down a little bit and then come back up and then climb up from here. So I'm going to look for the retest off the pivot. This technically could have been the entry, but it's right at the session and it's not very high volatility. So I'm not really going to mess with it at this point. You can see here, it's probably going to hit its TP, but I'm not going to mess with it here. The volatility is just way too low at this point. I'm waiting for it to climb up for better confirmation. Yeah, you guys can see here, the volatility is way too low. So I'm going to continue to follow these candles and I'm just going to wait for that volatility. The volume's going to pick up at some point. You can see right here, it is picking up now. If this swings back to a sell, that's completely fine. So the first target here got hit already as a first target, the New York high and the London high. Now the next target here, if price decides to climb down lower, is going to be the Asia high right here. That's going to be the next target price point. The one thing that you want to keep in mind is that market hasn't reacted to the news yet, right? The news was positive right here at 7 o'clock or at 6:45, and it still has not corrected back up yet. So the correction could still come. It's just a matter of time until it does. So I'm not really looking to take any entries right here down the middle. What I'm looking for here is I'm looking for the correction back up and I'm looking for that volatility push. This point here, I'll look for some entries above this area over here. If it does correct back up, the target price points are going to be the levels, the 700 right here, 700 and the 750. All right, the volatility here is still pretty slow. Again, if target continues to push down lower, the target price point here is going to be the session high right here, the Asia high. So what we might get is a bounce off here and climb back up. If we don't get that bounce there, that's fine, because if price comes down lower, I'll be looking for some sells here. Look for price to come down to this point, because the ultimate retracement area is going to be opening price, right? Back to open. So it doesn't really matter where price goes. I'm looking in either direction. If price corrects back up, that's perfectly fine. I'll look for some entries up here. If price continues to drop lower, that's fine too. I'll look for some entries down here, because the target price point is going to be back to open. It's two different price points here. If price corrects up, I'm looking for price to push up here. If price continues to climb down, I'm looking for price to ultimately come back to open right here. Right? It looks like price is trying to fill this big gap over here from this big bullish push. But I mean, this could be a trap for sellers. They're probably trapping some sellers down here, and they'll probably push it right back up to the upper target price point. The main thing that you want to have when you're analyzing these charts, guys, is two different price points, right? So if price is bullish, where do you expect price to go? I'm expecting price to go to the 650 mark. If price is bearish, where do I expect it to go? I expect price to go back to open right here, right at the 513. So there's two different areas here. It doesn't matter which direction price goes. I'm going to look for entries in either direction. I just need some volatility to push in that direction there. I'm not going to trade right here in the middle. This is what I consider, the shallow, the manipulative area, basically where the tides are at. I'm looking for price to push out of here and then ride this wave up, or push below here and ride this wave down. So we just got to wait. The volatility here is starting to diminish quite a bit. It's looking like a normal market now. This is typically how the market moves, around closer to 7, where the volatility here just gets pretty flat and dies out. Let me check NQ real quick. Maybe NQ will have something we can look at. NQ is climbing up pretty high. It's a little smoother. It's a little smoother. I don't see too many opportunities here for entry, but it is a lot smoother. Back to YM. All right. There's not too much going on here. Volatility super dead. These candles right here are not even moving at all. They move about like 10, 20 points. 652 right now. No reaction to the news. It seems like price is probably going to be flat until 7 o'clock over here. We do have high impact news at 7. It's Michigan consumer sentiment. So I might be willing to look past 7 for an entry today. Again, I'm not going to force any entries though. I'm going to make sure that there's like actually a good entry there and there's some volatility. If there's no volatility, then obviously I'm going to hold off. We got price climbing back up right here. We're starting to get some volatility on this candle. So let's see if we get that push up higher from right here. Target price point is going to be over here at the 700 and the 750 mark. It's right at the session, so I need price to be slightly above it. Looks like this might be the consolidation zone right now between 650 and 600. So if it doesn't break above here, it's probably going to consolidate here until news at 7. Yeah, next set of possible levels entry over here if it closes above 650. All right, so it's breaking above right here. Not closing though. We need it to actually close above it. Yeah, the volatility here is pretty flat. All right, so there's no close above it. We got news coming up over here in about 6 minutes. Yeah, the volatility here is pretty flat. So this previous candle over here moved about 17 points. One before it was pretty good, it's about 30 points. All right, so the volatility here is pretty much dead. I think it's going to stay pretty flat until news. It's having a lot of trouble getting past the sessions right here. Right here is the New York high and the London high. You can see how price is trying to get past it. It's having a lot of trouble right there. There's also just not enough volatility. Yeah, so technically there's a VB3C right here, guys. Breakout V3 continuation, if anybody was looking for that. It was right at the sessions though, so obviously I wouldn't have taken that trade, but that is a VB3C pattern for anybody who's looking to take anything there. The trend in the bias is currently bullish right now. As you can see, price is above the pivots. The trend meter is green. Pivots are angling up. Divergence is bullish. So obviously we're looking for some bias here. We're getting a bit closer and closer to news here. So the levels entry can come up here now, possibly. The volatility is just not consistent. So you can see over here, it's consistent for like one candle and then it dies down. There's like one big candle or one decent candle and the rest are pretty much flat. So I don't think we're going to get much movement until after news over here. I'm surprised the news over here hasn't corrected, or it's correcting now. So this pink line right here was the news at 6:45. It was Chicago PMI, inflation news, positive news, came down right here for manipulation. And then now it's correcting back up. This right here could technically be the entry, guys. So if you guys are looking for the entry here, if this swings back green, this could be a possible entry for a buy. It's just a little close to news right here. So I think I'm going to sit out on this. I'm not going to do any FOMO trades right now or today. It's just too risky. It's too close to news. I don't want to get caught in the pre-news manipulation, because this is high impact news coming up over here at 7 o'clock. It's not regular news. It's Michigan consumer sentiment. You know, our rule for news is to not take any trades 5 minutes before, 5 minutes after, because obviously you get the pre-news manipulation and then you get the market reaction to the news. So, but not really take any trades around this area. And this levels here would have been avoided anyways because it's right at the session. It's an obvious red flag. So again, price is pretty much sitting where we expected. This is kind of where I said price will probably consolidate in range until news happens. I said between the 650 and the 600 mark, and that's pretty much where it's happening. Right there. Price never swung up, so there's no opportunity there for a market flow entry. I mean, it's just consolidating here until news happens. So we'll see if the news over here at 7 o'clock if the market has a bigger reaction to it. It didn't really have much of a reaction to the 6:45 news, which was kind of surprising. I thought I was going to move a little bit based off the inflation because, you know, they had the inflation breaking news right here and it didn't actually move. I guess because it already moved right here bullish, they didn't really have another push from there because it already happened pre-news. But I mean, nonetheless, it didn't really have much of a reaction at all. Stayed flat. All right, so we got the consolidation here. We got news coming up in about 2 minutes. I typically don't like to trade after 7 because the volatility gets low. So I'm going to watch the charts. If the volatility picks up, then okay, I'll look for like maybe 1 or 2 entries. But if the volatility doesn't pick up, I'm not going to risk anything. I'm just going to sit out. So the volatility should pick up though, because it's been pretty much flat all right here. So I'm expecting it to be there's probably going to be at least like 1 or 2 volatility pushes between 7 and 8, right? I'm going to mark up 8 o'clock over here. It's not really necessary, but I'm going to mark it up anyways, that you guys can kind of see the timeline between here and 8 o'clock. I think as we get closer and closer to 8 o'clock, the worse the volatility gets, but the volatility should pick up a little bit, maybe right here for like a few minutes. You know, maybe a push up to that point or even a push back to open. My guess is that price is probably going to shoot down lower back to open. So I think this is more ideal, right? For price to return to open because of this big bullish push right here. Or then again, it can just be a fake out. It can be luring in sellers right here, come pretty close to the opening price, then come right back up super heavy. All right, we got news over here in about 20 seconds. Again, there's 2 different price points where price can push to either opening price or up here to the 750 mark. tricky market today. I mean, it's a typical Friday, right? Fridays are typically going to be those days where I mean, it's hard to tell what's going to happen next. And today's no different. All right, so we got price pushing up right here. This is the news candle. Let's check the news real quick. News was positive. Okay, so it was forecasted to be negative. It was actually positive. So the news is positive right there. We'll see if it continues to climb from here. Again, it's having trouble getting past the session high right here. This is the New York high and the London high. It pushed up a little bit right there with that big candle, and then now it's having trouble getting past it. So it tested it, didn't break close past it though. Slow market today. All right, so the news is positive. So we should expect if it does move where it needs to, both of the news events today were positive. So we had the 645 news over here, PMI was positive. We had the Michigan consumer sentiment here, also positive. So we might start, if the market moves how it's supposed to, it should break out of this area and climb up eventually. I don't know exactly when it'll happen, but eventually it should happen. Where price pushes up. There's a possible entry again right here if this swings up green, but it's just a little risky. I wouldn't mess with it for me personally. If you guys want to take it, feel free. Again, there's going to be a wick down here. So we have 36 seconds left on this candle. If this candle turns green, this could be a push to the upside. There's just not enough volatility here. I want some volatility for me to take these entries. The volatility here is just too flat. So I'll watch it. Not going to get into it though. So the entry is now active, guys. If anybody was looking to take this here, if anything, if it ranges within this area, it'll probably push back up to the sessions. There's just not enough volatility for me to want to get in because I don't want to hold on to this position for more than 2 minutes. And there you go, full TP right there. If you guys took it, nice work. If you guys didn't, it's fine. I just didn't like this area here because it's just in the middle of the range. It's not a good area for me to want to. Okay, here we go. We're starting to get a climb now. So price is starting to climb up a little bit. So here goes the volatility as price pushes up a little bit higher. The volatility is picking up, so I'll be looking for some possible opportunities here to get in. Not on this candle right here, but possibly the next one. So I need to retrace back a little bit. I actually don't want the sell signal the buy signal to close yet. All right, so I'm gonna look for price to swing down, price swing back up. So I'm looking for a sharp retracement and continuation. Or it could even happen up here. Retracement off the levels. So it's probably not going to happen on this candle, of course, but I'm going to look for the retracement and the continuation. Just gotta watch the price action though. This has 20 seconds left on it. I mean, better yet, I'll probably try to put a pending order somewhere instead of getting into these markets. We got 10 seconds left. Again, I'm going to look for that retracement. The target price point here is going to be 750. So I need that retracement, possibly back down to the level. Okay, perfect. I'm not ready to take it yet, but it'll happen right here at the 719 mark. So I need to retrace back a little more. It's not where I need it to be at. Still has 20 seconds left on it, so I'm gonna let it pull back a little further. Ideally to that level right there. That level is gonna be probably best case scenario. I'll wait for the next candle, not this one. Yeah, I'm gonna be careful here, guys. It's a tricky area to be trading in right here because you're getting close to this area right here, which is considered resistance. This is now considered resistance. Okay. So it's currently bouncing off the resistance right now. If it does push up higher, the target price point is actually up here now. It's going to be the liquidity. So I'm going to watch for this to swing up. If it swings up, I'll take this back for a buy. All right. So I'm in the position right there for the buy. Let's see, I'm watching it right here. Let me move this over a little bit so I have an idea.
Order submitted.
All right, I got out right there. Full TP, guys. Fuck, man. I got really screwed with the slippage right there. So I closed it manually. I should have just let it hit the TP and I got out for like a couple $100, which not a big deal, but yeah, I got screwed with the bounce back right there. The volatility is just too low, guys. I don't like the volatility when it's super low like that. Again, the target price point is still going to be up here. There might be another opportunity for entry here again. So if this pulls back, I want it to pull back a little more. It's not enough yet. I want it to pull back a little more like this one. See how this one had a huge wick on the bottom? This is why I was okay with taking this entry because it did exactly what I was looking for. I wanted it to pull back and then have a sharp push back up. And then I ended up closing it. I'm not doing too much on my chart. I was trying to put a pending order and then I ended up was like, fuck it, I'm just going to take a market order. And then I kind of just got confused with my movement here because I was going to move my stop loss and profit, but then my mind was just all over the place. So I had a little bit of a brain fart right there, trying to figure out if I wanted to drag my stop loss and profit or if I wanted to let it run or if I wanted to close it out. I ended up choosing to close it out and I closed out when it pulled back a little bit. So there goes the first entry right there. I'm just going to screenshot this real quick for you guys. Okay, so there might be another opportunity right here, guys. If this swings back up green, I'll be looking to get back in right here again as well. So if this swings back up green, I'll be watching for it. It's got like 20 seconds left on it. I like when it swings up at the last second. It's not looking like it's going to. All right, that's fine. It's not going to swing up. So let me just put this over here real quick. Looks like all you guys here took it with me, so you guys are good. The entry was at 706. All right, so I need to find another big wick here. Looking for another big wick for opportunity. All right, the volatility here is dead again, so I'm going to wait for the volatility to pick back up before I start looking for any entries. Right here, I'm not going to take any entries because the volatility is too low. It's just not worth the risk. This was good right here because we had the volatility push, pulled back, provide opportunity for entry, and then we had that opportunity to climb up higher. But right here, the volatility is pretty much dead. So we will wait for the next volatility push. So this is what we learned from Tuesday, right? From my overtrading on Tuesday. Don't take every trade. Just wait for the volatility to pick back up. Because if you take every trade, you're gonna get caught in the chop. Right here, prices and chop. It's just going back and forth. I mean, there's an opportunity here for another entry, but I wouldn't have taken it. It rejected off the levels right there. And it looks like it would have hit, and it's probably gonna push up to liquidity right here. Target price point is going to be liquidity. No, Nick, I didn't set up the I was planning on just doing it manually because I wasn't sure how it worked because there's like the options are kind of confusing. I'm assuming that when it hits that target that you set, that's when the stop loss starts moving in profit. And that's kind of what threw me off because like if you set it to 5, like you'd have to set the trailing stops at 15, right? I'm assuming that's what the trailing stop would be. You'd set the trailing stop to 15 if the target of like 13 is hit, because then it'll start moving to break even. I'd have to play around with it. All right, so there's another opportunity right here for an entry. Bounce off the level. Now this is probably gonna hit the liquidity now. So price came down, bounced off the level right here, the 750 mark, and then it pushed up from that point there. So it's now pushing up to the liquidity. I don't know if it has enough push yet. All right, we're getting some volatile candles right here. So at this point, I'm going to look for any possible opportunities for entry. Again, I'm going to look for the retracement right here. Okay, this is perfect. So if it comes back down right here and it swings back up, I'll be looking to catch the last push up to the liquidity there. So I'm watching for this to turn green again. Ideally, I'd like it to come down and test the levels. And then at the last second, push up. So that's 30 seconds left on this candle. I'm not going to take it here yet. I need to reject off a structure. I don't want to take it off out in the open like this. So I want it to come down, bounce off the level, and come up. Or bounce off the pivot, wherever it needs to bounce off some sort of structure. The volatility is just not high enough. I'll just clean this up so there's not much mess here. So this would have been the possible entry if it came down hard enough. It's probably going to hit liquidity at this point now, or not. All right, so now it's coming back down. Again, I want this to reject off one of these structures. So it can reject off the pivot right here and then come back up. No, that's not far enough. It's inching to the liquidity right there. That's where it's trying to get to. But I want the retracement. Oh, there you go, hit liquidity. So it already hit the target. It's too late for me to enter at this point. You guys can see how the volatility spiked up right there because it just pretty much wiped out all the sellers. So everyone who tried to catch the high right here and they try to catch it as it sells down, they pretty much got wiped out at that point. We have some volatility here, so we might get some more opportunities for price to push up higher from here to the next level. And that's what I'll be looking for right here. Maybe a bounce off the level right there at the 800 mark. So I'll watch this here. If this here swings back up green, I'll be looking to take this here for a buy. You guys can see how price is faking out back below. So I'm just going to watch this here. It has 40 seconds left on the candle, so it has a lot of time. It can easily swing all the way back up with a huge wick on the bottom end. But that target got hit. The next target here would be the next level above at the 850 mark. So this has 25 seconds left on the candle. It's not going to swing up. All right, so now the volatility is back to being dead. Let's check NQ real quick. NQ is like way too high up. It's not even rejecting off any structure, so I wouldn't even mess with NQ right now. It's kind of overextended. YM is overextended too, but it's actually bouncing off structure. Okay, so again, right here, I'll be looking for this to bounce off the level possibly. I think the pivot here is too close. Bounce off the level right there and shoot back up. If it shoots back up, then entry would happen right here. It's not going to bounce off. Candle's going to close right here. Next candle over here, same thing. Possible bounce off and come back higher. But I want this to pull back even more. I need to see like a pretty nice wick. I need something like this right here, right? This had a pretty nice wick on the bottom end. So I need it to pull back a little bit more. It's too close right now. And the volatility is not very high. So a little lower. It's not enough. Price will probably just range within this middle area right here. But the volatility is too low. Like I want that to like really bounce and then shoot right to my TP. It's probably gonna hit TP right there, but wasn't strong enough for me to want to enter. Yeah, exactly. Rashida said need to retrace. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the really sharp retracement and continued push. But it's not really having much of a retracement here. And there you go, would have hit TP. So you guys can see the entries are hitting. It just depends on how risky you want to be. Like you can take all these entries. There's a bunch of them that are coming up. It's just it doesn't meet my criteria because I want this to actually like come down a bit further. The problem is that these candles are like super small too. They're not even 30 points. Like I'm looking for like at least 30-point candles here so that I can get that volatility push back up. So again, I'm looking at this here. Okay, perfect. This is actually a pretty nice rejection. So if this actually swings back up to green, I'll be looking to take this here because this will probably push up to that. It'll come back to retest the 800 level right there. So if this swings back green, this is going to be a pretty nice wick. It's probably not going to happen, but if it does happen, you know, anything could happen really if the volatility picks up. Yeah, it's not going to happen. Or maybe 10 seconds. No, it's not going to happen. I like those big wicks at like the last 10-second mark. And you guys have seen that before, right? Like you guys have seen it where like the candle's like super far down and at the last second it spikes up, like the last 5 seconds. And when that happens, it usually continues up even higher. That's usually where you get caught in the fake out reversals. Um, okay, the volatility is picking back up here as it comes back down lower. Yeah, Rashida said she doesn't like the invalid buy signal on the 5-minute. Yeah, I wouldn't like it either. So let me just post up my profits real quick for that last trade. Man, it's so nice having a second mouse. It's I can click around and I can do stuff without having to worry about misclicking. The touchpad is horrible. All right, so we might get the correction back up right here, but I'm not going to enter it because it's not rejecting off any structure. But yeah, Nick said same day shipping is insane. It was like 2 hour shipping actually. It's crazy how fast it came. There's no rejection off any structure, so I'm not really looking to take anything here. So here are my profits. You guys will see they're kind of funny profits. They're like 300 profit. I don't know how this even happened because I closed out when I was at like 14 points in profit. And then it just ended up. Oh, yeah, actually. All right, so let's see. There's no entries here yet, but yeah, Rashida said the 10-minute and 15-minute also have invalid buy signals. Think I'm done for the day. I think I'm done too. Unless the volatility really picks back up, I'm pretty much content with the profit that I made for the day. I wish it was more, but today is Friday and the market is not moving smoothly at all. So just a reminder, guys, for you guys here, we're having the mentoring session later today at 2 p.m. I think CJ is here, right? CJ is the one that called for it, so you guys could thank him for that. We'll have the mentoring session later today at, actually, there might be an intro right here, guys. Okay, so this candle swings back green. I'll be looking to possibly take this here for a buy. See if it swings back up. No, no entry there. All right, I think the FOMO is starting to kick in, guys. So I think I might be done trading for the day. But yeah, just a reminder, today we're having the mentoring session later at 2 p.m. If you guys want to learn more about like the way that this strategy works and like different examples, I'll be showing a lot of examples of how this works and answering other questions during that mentoring session. So today at 2 p.m. Pacific time, I'll be back here to go over whatever questions you guys have. There's another opportunity for entry here, guys, but I think I'm going to sit out. I'm getting FOMO now. The volatility is really not there, so I shouldn't even be looking for entries. I thought the volatility picked up, but it's not really there. So I'm gonna hold off on taking any entries here on YM. Let's take a look at NQ real quick. So NQ is looking just like YM. It's starting to die down over here too. So not really too much to work with here. NQ is probably going to be the asset, even though we don't trade NQ. I'm going to use this to show you guys examples of the entries that that we take here for the market flow. NQ is just a little more volatile, so it's easier to see with the candle movement. But I mean, it pretty much works with anything. Let me check gold too. I think it works with gold as well. Yeah, so looking at gold over here, it looks like it works perfectly fine. So like for same with gold here, price came up, came down, rejected off the session right there. You could have taken it for a gold entry. I don't know, the TP stop loss would be for gold, I guess 15.15 as well. But the strategy works here for gold too. I mean, it works for all the assets. It's a universal strategy. So depending on what you want to trade it on. What I'm kind of curious now is if it works well on the higher time frames. Now that's what I'm kind of curious about, because I haven't really looked at it on the higher time frames. I'm assuming it would work well too. Let me check on the 5-minute. That's probably the closest that we can get to. I guess, yeah, technically it could. I just don't know what the TP stop loss would be. I guess 30.30. So this would have been an entry right here on this green candle. Price came down, rejected off the pivot, swung back up. Like pretty much all the strategies that I apply, they work on pretty much everything. You just have to find the volatility. All the strategies are based off volatility. So it doesn't matter what time frame you're trading on, what assets you're trading. As long as there's volatility, odds of it working are very likely. Okay, so the volatility here is back up a little bit. So I'll be looking for like maybe one more entry here, guys. I'm going to see if there's anything that can come up from here. So let's just see. And this will probably be my last opportunity for the day. So again, I'm looking for a sharp retracement, probably bounce off the structure, come back up, and I'll look for my entry there. This is what kind of tricks me, or not just tricks me, but tricks people in general. See how this candle is volatile, and then it starts to die down. So you have some volatile candles right here. These are nice. These are nice right here. And then, sorry guys, I heard something outside. There's volatile candles, and it just dies down on the following candle. So this is why it's not really, I guess, opportunistic to take trades in a market like this, because it's just flat. This is why it's tough trading after 8 o'clock too, because after 8 o'clock, like you'll get some random spikes of volatility. Like you can see volatility if you look at the charts. Like from what I've seen in the past, there's volatility like between 9 and 10, maybe 9 and 11, and it dies down a little bit, and then you get the power hour closer to 12, and then it's just it's so irregular. Like you can't really follow it to see exactly how it's moving. Because it's not like this here where we can kind of we could set aside 30 minutes in the morning, right? We can set aside 6:30 to 7. We're like, okay, this is where the movements happen. This is where we can take entries. Later on in the day, it's different because it's just all over the place. Like the market will be flat between like 8 and 9. It'll pick up for like maybe 30 minutes, then it'll die down again. Then it'll pick back up again for 30 minutes and die down again. But there's no set specific time like we do have here in the morning. So. All right, looking at this over here, let's see. Nick said we might get an MPS if it pushes up. Yeah, possibly. Possibly, but then the volatility here is just too low. If anything, I would try to get something down here, like a rejection off this, maybe this pivot, level 3 pivot and the 700 mark, and then maybe catch it from, down here. Because it looks like price is really just ranging between this area here. So if you can trade within the range, I would try to get as low as possible, like down here. Or, I mean, price might break above and climb up higher, right? The next target price point is going to be this right here, this higher high. This higher high is going to be the next target price point because that's liquidity. This is also going to be resistance. So it's resistance and it's liquidity. So, I mean, if we get some volatility, and that's where I'm looking for price to go. It looks like the candles are getting a little more volatile again. So this might be this movement might happen. Again, I'd be looking for a strong rejection and a strong push back up. This right here, again, could have been another entry, but the volatility is not high enough for me to want to take it. The volatility is just not there yet, unfortunately. Yeah, Nick said I'm good with my profits for the day. I'm gonna sit out. Yeah, I'm probably gonna sit out too, guys. I already know, like, if I'm trying to force entries here, or if I'm looking for entries that are not just showing up, this is me getting FOMO, right? So I think I'm gonna call it a day for myself. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I'm just gonna close my ninja here so I don't make any stupid mistakes here. I already know I got some sticky fingers where I'm gonna try to enter a trade when I know I shouldn't. And this is probably gonna hit TP. So this is just gonna give me more and more FOMO. So I'm not even gonna bother. I'm gonna close my ninja and turn off my laptop. Okay, I'm good for the day now. Turn off my laptop. I'll be good. We're good there. I'll keep analyzing. I'll answer questions, but I'm done trading for the day. Feels good to be done for the week. This week was kind of tricky for us. I mean, it's tricky for me because Tuesday was just a bender for me. Monday was good. Tuesday wasn't necessarily bad, but it was just bad for my trade psychology because I took 8 trades on Tuesday during the live session, and it was during the live. It wasn't even off the live. So I think that's what made it worse. It was the fact that I was trading with you guys on tilt, but I was live trading. It wasn't like speculative stuff. I was trading on my actual accounts. So that kind of screwed me up for the week. I mean, you guys saw my profits. Like, this screwed me up for the week because I racked up so many fees. I don't take that many trades. So I racked up, I think, from Monday and Tuesday, almost 1,000 in commissions and fees just from like each account. So I made about 1,000 per account for Monday, Tuesday, but then I had to pay out so much in fees that I was still in the red. So I had better control over that. Now my accounts are looking pretty decent for the week. Not as nasty as they were yesterday, but yeah, I mean, it's fine. It happens, sometimes people trade on tilt, and the good thing is that I was able to control myself, and then we were able to break even for the day on that specific day. And then I made everything back the following day. Yesterday we had a win, and then today we had a win as well. One win for today, not a crazy day for us. I mean, there's a lot of different opportunities here that we could have taken, but with it being Friday and with all the news coming out today, I think it was better to be safe than sorry, of course. Yeah, CJ said Sean is putting himself in timeout, right? Sometimes you got to do that. You got to put yourself in timeout because sometimes, like, and you guys know how this is. I know a lot of you guys go through this sometimes where, like, there's no entry here, like price is consolidating sideways, and then you're just looking for something. Like, you're like, oh, if this happens, then okay, I can take an entry here. And realistically, you should just sit out of those trades because those types of trades are considered revenge trading or over trading, right? You don't really have a good setup. You're kind of just you're really wanting to take a trade when it's not there. So let's take a look at the team profits for the day. We have Natasha over here, total profit of 810 on our first account. Nice work, Natasha. We have Cam here. He said no losing days for the whole month. First 100K month. Total profit, let's see, 11,000 per account for the week and 2,646 for the day. So for the day so far here, he locked in 2, 4, 6, 8, about 10,000 for the day, all wins. And then for the week, he locked in 11,000 per account. So well over 45,000 for the week, all wins. Nice work, Cam. So solid profits right there. We have Natasha's second account, total profit of 500, all wins here. Nice work, Natasha. We got travel here, total profit of, let's see, 2, 4, 6, well over 600 for the day, all wins here. We got Delicia here, total profit of 1,700 per account. She has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 accounts, so well over 6,000 for the day, all wins here. And for the week, Delicia killed it. So she's up 9,000, about 9,000 per account. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll say about like over 50,000 for the week so far. Nice work, Alicia. All wins. Great work, guys. Man, you guys killed it this week. I'm glad to see a lot of you guys here doing well, like doing really well trading. I mean, you guys are doing better than me. Let me add up my profits real quick. Of course, I had to like have a little bit of a learning curve. Kind of now that I have this new mouse, I feel a little bit better. But it was kind of difficult because I was trying to do a lot of stuff at once. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, so 18 times 150 plus 310 plus 300 plus 225 plus 30 plus 30 plus 20. So for the day, I locked in 3,615. Not horrible, but not great. Just profit for the day. Profit's profit. I can't complain. And then for the week, I'm currently up. Let's see. I'll just do these one by one. It's kind of difficult, but whatever. 953. 728. 878. 878. 838. 838. 798. Yeah, man. I'm just gonna make an estimate. This is too much work for me. Let me make an estimate. So we'll say about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Actually, I can just add this up real quick. Let's check the charts real quick, make sure I'm not missing anything. I'm surprised this trade over here still hasn't played through. Or actually, I didn't even have a trade here. This would be the trade that's currently running right now. I just want to make sure we're not missing out on anything here as we continue to add stuff up. There's a possible entry right here, price projected off the level, but again, the volatility here is pretty low, so I wouldn't recommend taking any trades here. This looks like a fake out area where it's currently at. Of course, the target price point is going to be up here at the levels and the liquidity, but right here is just a fake out area. So you want to be careful if you guys are looking to take anything there. So let me just go ahead and try to add this up one last time. Let me just start over real quick. I just need to focus on the chart because I keep getting distracted. 953, 728, 878. Um, 838, 838, 798, 838, 838, 8, 798, 8, 838, 8, 798, 878, 838, 838, 201, 216, 144. Okay, there we go. So profits for the day is 3,615. And for the week, I'm up 17,663. Okay, not bad for the week because this week was kind of crazy with the markets, like how the market was moving. And then also with my mistakes. So I'm glad we closed out the week in green. For the day, I locked in 3,615. It was all partial here. I mean, this should have been a lot more profit, but I did get caught in some slippage. My entries, exits were kind of not where they should have been. And for the week, I'm up 17,000. So not great for the week, but profit's profit. I can't complain. So guys, if there's any other questions that you guys have, feel free to put your questions in the chat. I'm going to take a look at the chat real quick before we wrap this up. It's just not really worth the risk right now, guys. I know price is still climbing right here, but it's not really worth the risk to trade here because for one, it's Friday. You're going to get a lot of manipulation today. And for two, the market structure here just isn't really moving too much. It's really just going sideways. So if you zoom out a little bit, it's really just ranging between the 800 mark and the 700 mark down here. So this is the range between here. But yeah, so let's see. Nick City, I'm going back to my old ways of only one loss for the day and I'm done. It helps preserve accounts. And I feel that it's the thing that can set you apart from the rest of the traders, which generally will help you make good profit. Yeah, so there's two ways of doing it. I think for me, so what I'm doing is I'm gonna I've already half my risk. I have my risk in half. So typically I take like a 20 contract. I'm taking a 10 contract right now, my 300K accounts, so that I can take two trades. So this kind of gives me the opportunity to either break even or make a full profit. So yeah, I agree with you too, Nick. I think the one trade a day is yeah, exactly. Nick said he did the same, but he still doesn't like the two losses. Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. Everyone kind of trades differently. Everyone sees things differently. I personally have not witnessed that myself, like back to back. So I can't really say yet how I'm going to feel when that happens. But for the most part, I think for right now, with this type of trading style, it's really easy to get faked out. So I think for me, I'm going to keep it at where I'm currently at. And if I want to change back to one trade, one loss per day, then I'll change back to it. But yeah, all right, guys, if there's any other questions that you guys have, feel free to pop into the chat. Again, just another reminder, we're having our mentoring session later today at 2 p.m. So that's why I'm kind of wrapping this up a little earlier because I'll be back on here a little later today to cover a lot of this stuff in detail. Also, I'm just not looking to FOMO into any trades. I already closed my laptop, so I can't take any trades even if I wanted to. But here we go. As price pushes up to my target right there, liquidity. Looks like it's finally going to get hit. There was another opportunity for entry right here. The volatility is picking back up. There goes liquidity, just got hit. So there goes that target price point. So if you guys took any trades around this area, nice work. If you guys have more profits to post up, feel free to send them in. Again, posting your profits is going to boost your confidence, guys. I know not everybody posts their profits here. A lot of you guys like to keep it low profile, but posting your wins and posting your losses, this is going to keep your confidence up. You'll see most of our successful traders are posting their profits every single day. I know a lot of you guys don't like posting profits because people end up messaging you. You don't have to message them back. Just remember that, guys. You can share your profits and you guys can feel confident about your entries. And if people message you asking you for help or asking you to teach them what you're doing or something like that, you don't have to help them, right? Just keep that in mind. Hey, you can do it from the good of your heart. If you want to help people out, feel free to help people out, but you don't have to help people out. It's same with me. People ask me dumb questions in my DMs. Sometimes I just stop responding because it's like people always ask the same dumb questions, right? Like, what session do you trade? What time do you trade? I'm like, bro, I trade the same time every day for the past 6 years. It's not like anything has changed. What asset do you trade? I've been trading YM for like every day for the past 6 years. So if people ask me dumb questions, typically I'll just, if I know they're asking dumb questions, I'm not gonna respond. And same with like yeah, exactly. But I will help if it's like a legitimate question. Like Natasha said, yes, I get message and I try to help because I remember when I needed the help. Exactly. If you guys are gonna ask me like real questions, great. But if you're gonna ask me some like random Apex questions like, hey Sean, do you think I'm gonna get paid out because I've been trading this style that's not allowed? You're not gonna get paid out. They're gonna deny you. I get questions like that all the time. It's like common sense stuff. But yeah, I mean, if you guys have questions, always feel free to reach out. but try to like read your question before you ask me, because a lot of questions I get are just kind of pointless questions. Like, hey Sean, do you think I'll be a profitable trader? I can't tell you if you're gonna be profitable or not. It's just really up to you. You know, everyone's a different trader. Or if you're asking for a timeline for when you should be good. My timeline is about 2 years, guys. If you don't find profitability in 2 years, or even just break even by 2 years, reach out to me so I can help you, because you're probably not doing something correctly. You probably just keep making the same mistakes over and over again, and that can be fixed. But after 2 years, if you haven't even became a break-even trader, then it's either not for you, or you're not making adjustments to your trading plan or trading style to improve. So just, keep that up, keep that in mind. Nick said, might be a weird psychology thing for me, but whenever I start sharing profits, I start losing. So I just don't. Probably all in my head, but it's okay. Yeah, no, if that's, again, if that's your thing and you think that's what's stopping you, then don't do it, right? But I think for me personally, from my experience and from everybody else, I think when you post profits, it gives you this confidence. I don't know what it is, but it gives you this confidence, like you feel like you can't lose. So you post profits today, and then the next day you're probably going to be confident to trade and you're going to make more profits. You post profits that day, the next day you're going to have another one. You post profits at the end of the week. Like, for example, that's why I post my profits every day, even if they're losses. Um, because this just humbles me. It's like, okay, I'm down, so I gotta have one more win to bounce back. And then I bounced back yesterday, and I had a all green here. This gave me confidence, so I traded again today, and now I'm all green for the week. So, like Nick said, it's a psychology thing. I think it does more good than bad, but again, it depends on the person. If you have anxiety, or if you have like some sort of like fear of missing out, then it might not be good for you. But if you need that boost of confidence, that to remind you that you're doing well, the profits do help. Let's see. CJ said, so much liquidity up top. I'm pulling a Sean and shutting down my ninja. Yeah, I know so let's check real quick. Before I get off this live session, let's just check real quick if there's any more liquidity that's close to current price. For those of you who are possibly going to want to continue trading. So there is liquidity sitting up here. There's liquidity at 39,928. Let me measure how far this is from current price. I think price can probably push up maybe another 50 to 100 points. Okay, that's pretty far out. It's probably not going to get hit by today. The reason I say that is because price is already super far up. So price started from down here. So price is currently up already 300 points, right? That's why I'm saying it's only going to push up maybe 100 to 200 points maybe from where it's currently at. Because if it pushes up any higher, like that's a really big push for one day, right? That's 500 points. So, I mean, it might hit this next level of liquidity, but at this point, I think price is probably going to range and maybe pull back for retracement, because it's a really big push for one day, especially a day that there's not really much going on aside from the debate yesterday. If you guys watched the debate yesterday, pretty interesting debate. I do think Trump is going to win 100%, unless the Democrats have like another person who's going to replace Biden in the race. Biden's not going to win for sure. Well, I don't know. I don't want to say for sure. I don't jinx it, but that's good for us, because if Trump wins, he's usually good for less regulation, less taxes, and be good for the market. So we'll see. Yeah, Nick said F is tax laws. Kevin said for sure. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to like the guy. Like, you don't have to like Trump, but his uh his initiatives are better, of course, and especially for you as a trader. Like Biden's trying to increase taxes like crazy. Like, I'm all for helping like the poor and the needy, but I like to do that out of my own free will, right? I'll make donations or whatever, but if he's going to keep taxing us more, it just doesn't make sense, because a lot of that money doesn't even go towards what they say. It's going to fund like wars that are unnecessary, right? Like the Russia-Ukraine war, um, the Palestine and Israel war. Like, that stuff should have been avoided. Like, if you guys watched the debate yesterday, Trump was right about that. Like, those wars should have been avoided. Now we're in this mess. So I'm not trying to get political with you guys at all, but it's going to affect the market, of course, one way or another. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I'm going to wrap this up for the day. It's 7:45. We have about 15 minutes till 8. And there's just nothing going on here from now until then. So I think it's a good time to wrap it up. If you guys want to keep trading, I'd probably trade after 9 o'clock. If not, just wrap it up for the week and close up shop, come back Monday fresh, and we'll be back at these charts. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, CJ said exactly. Biden said 95 billion to Ukraine. Vimal said Biden is the most inactive president I've ever come across. Yeah, no, even with the VP, with Kamala Harris, right? This is like the first presidency where I haven't seen the VP like in the spotlight ever. Like every year there was always someone that was the VP was always in the spotlight. Like Biden, when he was with VP, he was in the spotlight. You know, when Pence was with Trump, he was in the spotlight. I don't even know where Kamala Harris is, what she even does anymore, because she's never in the spotlight. If she was to take over for Biden, she would lose for sure. Nobody would vote for Kamala Harris. I feel like nobody even knows what she does or what her importance is as VP, because she's not really pushing for anything. So, I mean, again, I don't want to get political with you guys. I know this is probably going to cause, ruffle some feathers amongst you guys, but CJ said Kamala is somewhere. What did he say? Kamala is somewhere doing the Dougie with inner city. I don't disagree with you, CJ. She probably is. Yeah, I mean, she's the only VP that I haven't seen like do anything. She'll pop up randomly in like random inner cities, like what CJ said, and do like some random talk that's kind of pointless, but nothing specific to help run the CJ said all she does is dance to get Gen Z support. That's wild. That's wild that you say that. So now I can't not picture her doing the Dougie now. I just see her dance in my head now. That's all I can see her doing at like a campaign rally, doing the Dougie on the stage. But all right, guys. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I'll see you guys back here at 2 o'clock for the mentoring session. If not, I'll see you guys back here on Monday for market open. So, all right, guys, have a great weekend if I don't see you guys later. And I'll see you guys